And that's the reason the insider threat, okay, can lead to more damage. Now, this is basically the network challenges for the organization. In fact, I'm talking now the penetration happening from external as well as from the internal side, right? So when you talk of opening up of network to external users, now this can be a business need, wherein you have your partners or vendors to whom you have giving online ordering access, and of course you have to open up maybe a website or maybe some system, some application through which they are doing all these things, right? So opening up of network to external users, right? And what all things can happen, of course, virus, worm, spam. Spam is, of course, maybe it doesn't do much damage, but then, of course, it takes out your time, right? Whenever we talk of spam, we are talking of man hours lost, because user doesn't know whether that mail is important or not. So by the time he understands, he has lost certain time in that. And what if a user is getting so many spam messages? So of course there are a lot of spams, there are spywares, phishing. I told you phishing I hope everyone knows. Just to put a one line, phishing is basically an email which you get claiming that this mail is from your bank. You have to click in the below link, log into your online banking and update your records. But when you click, you go to a similar looking website, or rather a spoof website which is hosted by the hacker. It may look same website, maybe sbiionlinebanking.com. So you think that it is your own banking site and you put your username password. But actually it is hosted by the hacker, and the hacker gets your banking credentials. Now, of course, you know what will happen after that, right? So that is phishing. In fact, there is something called as farming also. Farming is one step ahead, wherein in phishing, at least you need to click on that link which you are getting from the email. In farming, what happens, even if you are not clicking on any link, but typing the actual URL of that online bank, still you can go to the wrong site. Is that possible? Yes, it is very much possible, because if you know, every operating system would have a host file which basically stores the IP to name resolution. So what if through some virus or a malware, someone makes entry in your host file? Like, just to tell you, host file, where it lies in Windows, it lies in the system 32 etc driver folder, driver etc folder. So in the host file, if I put a IP and say sbionlinebanking.com, and on that system, if you open a browser, try to access online SBI, it will go to that IP which is listed in the host file. And again, on that IP, maybe hacker is hosting a spoof website of SBI banking, and again the same thing would happen. What happens with phishing, right? So there are a lot of things which someone can do sitting from outside, and all these things, again, I am highlighting on the fact that there is definitely a user side ignorance, right? So what we are trying to put here is that the user sitting inside, you have to take care of that user, right? Now, of course, from external we saw what all things can happen. Now, from internal side, what all things can happen? The simplest thing is the data leakage, right? Wherein important data which is related to your organization can go out through a lot of mediums. There is FTP, there is a instant messenger, there is of course email, web mails, right? So there are a lot of ways data can go out of your network, right? And then of course there are this P2P kind of software or spywares kind of thing which basically can take your data outside. Now, of course, we also talk of growing presence of dynamic environments. In fact, I would elaborate on this later in this slide. So, what I am trying to tell you is basically talking of the challenges for the organization. The threat level is from the both sides, external as well as internal. And as you can see in the examples of phishing and farming, though the attack was initiated from external side, but it needs a internal approval before they can actually do something, right? So